answer to your reading for February 14th through the 20th. Hopefully you guys have had a good week so far, leading up to this next one. So this reading is obviously as much of a reading for me as it is for you guys, because I am a Cancer. Sunborn, that is. These readings definitely can be for Sun, Moon, and Rising. I generally lean more towards sun signs than anything, but I do believe that the most influential versions of your astrology chart, or the aspects I should say, are going to be the ones that you can look at, because the aspects on the astrology chart that have the most influence over your life, the reading is going to be for those. So I generally only watch the sun readings though, but that's just me. Anywho, I went ahead and got started with the poll because I've already shuffled everything, so bear with me on this. Already a great card to have. So the overall essence for this week coming up is the 9 of Pentacles. So this tells me that there's going to be some sort of abundance coming in this week. Things, you're going to be picking the fruits of the energy that has been building up until this point. So this week is a very good week for manifesting abundance, or just anything in general, whether it's money, items that you've wanted, things around the house, whatever, any type of material abundance that is going to increase your quality of life. I can already say that I'm already expecting stuff to come fairly soon within the next week, so if that makes sense for me, hopefully it makes sense for you guys. All right, so it looks like in the recent past there's been some sort of giving of material assets that you've had to have some sort of choice to make with, because the 2 of Pentacles represents balancing, like kind of going back and forth on whether or not you want to put energy into it or not. And the 6 of Pentacles is like the giving and receiving aspect of that. So it's either like you have received something, or you are thinking about trying to give to somebody else, and whether or not it's worth the effort or the money. Or what this is saying is, this could be representing like the energy of giving and receiving, which it is. But it's like if you're trying to think about whether or not you want to put that time and energy into it, or that finances or whatever it is you're wanting to move forward with, that's what this is saying, is like contemplating the choice to do so. And I know that resonates with me, because I've been having to make choices. I have been receiving money and receiving certain aspects materially, but it can just be about giving and receiving. So it's like, what can I do with this money to be able to give to somebody else? How much do I have to give to somebody else? In the current energy spot, we have the 10 of Cups, or at least one of them, 10 of Cups, and the Page of Wands. So the energy going into this week, it looks like you're going to have some sort of new passionate endeavor or idea that is going to create more happiness within your homes. It looks like there's going to be a lot more fresh energy. A new page is turning that is affecting your home life. So be on the lookout for anything that's going to happen leading up to the next week or the week thereafter that's going to create much more happiness and fulfillment within your home. So the Page of Wands is like, it's like turning a new chapter. And this comes in, and because it's the wand suit, it's talking about some sort of passion or willpower or drive that's like, okay, I'm extremely happy to go on with this, and the 10 of Cups is saying that this is affecting your home life. Okay. Two of Swords and the 4 of Wands. All right, so another thing that's going to be coming in is having to make some sort of choice that you may not have the full outcome with, or the full picture of what it's going to play out. But ultimately what I'm getting is the four of Wands is like, yes, do this please, because it's going to wind up creating a celebratory moment for you. Okay, so that's one interpretation. Another one is, the 4 of Wands can represent some sort of event or milestone, but I'm getting more of an event that you may be having to make a choice to whether or not you want to go to it. You're just like kind of just causing yourself to remain stuck in the choice to do that. So it's either you're making a choice that you don't know the full outcome with, but it's going to wind up ending up in some sort of celebration. It's a milestone being met, like you're going to be happy about it, or it's having to make a decision that you don't know if you want to do or not in regards to some sort of event that's going to wind up coming up. And we'll get more clarification on that. All right, so coming energy, or the future card, I guess, cards, is the Nine of Wands and the Six of Swords. So it looks like the Nine of Wands represents someone who has had to go through trials and tribulations. She stands tall, holding her wand here, her staff, whatever you want to call it. You can look at it like a staff too, but her wand, we'll call it a wand. She's holding the wand, kind of standing there. She's hovering over this fence as if like the fence is representing like kind of like what she's kind of built for herself, the things that she's learned and had to go through. What it looks like to me, what this is saying is like, yes, you've been going through some pretty hard times and you've been going through challenging times even, but it looks like what's going to happen is the Six of Swords is going to come in. This represents transition. Transition on from choppy waters to something much more calm and peaceful, and it's going to be a little more prosperous in the end. So, and it makes sense because the Six of Swords, if you look at it in the sequence of the previous cards in the Swords suit, what happened before that was the Five of Swords, which is like conflict and anxiety and kind of like mental distress, I guess. And it's like the Nine of that's kind of what the Nine of Wands is saying, is like you've been through trials and tribulations, you've been through a lot of challenging times, and it's like it's time to move on. And it's like she looks kind of like not really defeated, but like tired and worn out from her endeavors. And so it's like, but this card is definitely saying yes, you're transitioning out of it, you're moving forward. Just be willing to go with the flow with this, because the Six of Swords, it's a transition. And it can represent a move. Six of Swords is another card that can represent a move, but really it's more of a movement of energy, getting out of an energetic space and moving on to something better. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Pull some of these cards. Seven of Cups, another choice card. Yeah, you were definitely trying to. Death card, that's pretty cool. Have not had that Death card come out yet. All right, awesome. So first things first, the Seven of Cups is over the Two of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, in the recent past, definitely some confusion that was going on. Definitely a lot of choices that were kind of pulling your attention, and where you were trying to put your money into, because you did have some money and you were like wanting. There's a lot of stuff that you were wanting, and it's like, I don't know what I want to do with my money. But ultimately, there's just a giving and receiving. What you put out into the world, you're going to wind up getting it back. But this is talking about more. I'm very focused on this shiny stuff here. So if there were a lot of like things that were like shiny, figuratively saying shiny, that was calling your attention and looked a little glamorous, even a little blingy, kind of catching your eye. But that's what that's saying is like you had these things calling your attention and you wanted to put your money into it, but you were like basically weighing the options. Like, should I do that? Should I buy into this? Ultimately, what that choice was. Because sometimes the Seven of Cups can represent ego choices as well. So it's like not really focusing on what actually matters or what you need, and more focusing on what your ego desires are. That won't really benefit you in the long run. All right, so over the Ten of Cups and the Page of Wands, we have the Death card. So it looks like what's going to happen is something is going to wind up coming to an end. The Death card, every time I draw this card, it represents something is going to wind up dying out. All right. It could be pretty painful, but I love this card because I love change. Change gets you out of a cycle that you were previously like shackled to, basically. And so this card comes in, like it's almost like the universe coming in saying, okay, we're putting a stop to this. This is not what needs to happen, and we're moving on. So, in regards to the Ten of Cups and the Page of Wands, this new idea that's coming in, it's going to wind up benefiting your home life. It looks like in order for that to happen, some sort of death needs to come in, some sort of something that's going to wind up like just tearing something down so you can like move forward with that, basically. All right, Two of Swords and the Four of Wands, another clarity card. So it looks like what's going to happen is you're ultimately going to make a choice based off of logic and reason. The Queen of Wands represents someone who has clarity, who has like the higher perspective, because she's depicted as someone kind of standing back farther away from her queendom, I guess you want to call it, and seeing the bigger picture. And she knows how to get what she wants. She's a sword queen for Christ's sake. She knows what she wants. She can cut through any of the like anything that's just not really meant for her, basically. Anyone standing in her way, anything that's just like I don't want that, so I'm gonna not do it, basically. So what this is saying to me in a nutshell is you're gonna make the choice that basically says, no, I'm not gonna do this. I don't really want to do this. But that's up to you. If you have a change of heart, then it is what it is. You know, the Queen of Swords is someone who makes things or makes decisions based off of logic and reason, not emotion. All right, and then over the Nine of Wands and the Six of Swords, we have the Star card. So yes, you are definitely going to be divinely guided towards something. You may even feel a pull towards a new hopeful endeavor or a new idea of some sort that's kind of just like pushing you in a certain direction. The Star card represents like a wish being fulfilled. So it's like if you feel as though you're being guided towards something, go for it. As Cancers, we're generally pretty intuitive and in tune with our emotions, depending on certain star placements, but generally that's what we are. We're very emotional creatures. And so if you feel like you're being intuitively guided towards something that's ultimately going to lead to a wish fulfillment, go with it. Just go with the flow. Allow that transition to happen, and ultimately it's going to work out in the end. Got that card again. Refusing to just what the. All the same cards, man. I'm drawing 2 relationship cards / heart cards, 1 spirit message, and 2 abundance. And the abundance can be generally any abundance, not just specifically finance. All right, so in the relationships, whether it's in a relationship or it could be heart as well. So anything that you need to release within yourself or move towards, or whatever's happening in relation to your heart, that's what these cards are about. So we have release and refusing to see. So it looks like, I've already gotten this card for a previous reading today. Actually, I've gotten both of these cards, not in the same reading, but for the readings today. And the feelings that I got from that is the same ones I'm getting for this one. And basically what I'm saying is like, there's some sort of aspect of ourselves that we are unwilling to see inside of ourselves that needs to be released. Because what wants to come out is this inner light. Like this person wants to come out of their shell and be in the light, be who they want to be who they are acting on the inside, and stop putting on this fake clothing, this fake facade of who they are not. But it's refusing to see who you truly are. Who are you on the inside? Because that's very much in relation to the heart and healing the heart. Because if you've been hurt in the past and kind of looked down upon for who you were back in, I'm definitely getting a lot of emotion coming up for that. So I'm definitely feeling like that's the right direction here. If you in the past have felt like you were not enough because of the people around you were not accepting you for who you are, that buries a lot of those aspects of ourselves on the inside. And so that creates a refusal in adulthood to see us for who we truly are. And, we're very emotional creatures, us Cancers. And we need to be able to release that old part of ourselves in order to truly shine bright within who we truly are. And so that's really what I'm getting from this. That's actually pretty emotional. I started to get a little bit teary-eyed with that. It's pretty powerful stuff. My readings are pretty deep sometimes, so if you like the deep stuff, definitely subscribe and like. All right, so the power of prayer. These are the 2 abundant. I'll read these off to you real quick. Power of prayer. Give the situation to God for uplifting. And by the way, if any cards that I have that say God, I usually like to say universe or something to that effect, or spirit. I do say God every once in a while, but it really just depends on what you believe in. God, universe, universal spirit, whatever you want to call it, like that essence that's there, that's all around us and through us, that's sort of helping us being guided throughout life. So anyway, give the situation to God for uplifting and healing, and be open to miracles. Heaven's unlimited resources, love, and answers are awaiting your prayers. Be sure to act upon the divine guidance God gives to you in response to your prayers. So basically, what I'm getting from this card is like, because it's talking about being open to miracles, and talking about like unlimited resources, love, and answers. If you feel like you've been lacking something in your life right now, leading up to this week and the weeks thereon or thereafter, what this is saying is like there's a limited abundance or an unlimited amount of resources out in the world for us to grab onto, and it's like staying stuck in that lack mindset of not having enough for whatever it is just a mindset, and it's just a limiting belief. And basically what this is saying is like, if you need to pray, because prayer can help bring in more stuff. And I'm not like talking about the Christian prayer. I'm just talking about like there's a lot of scientific evidence showing that thought is a form of energy that actually affects the field in which we reside in. They call it the field in science, in quantum physics. And this field is what we're constantly interacting with. Our electromagnetic field interacts with the Earth's electromagnetic field and everyone else and all living creatures all around us. So if we look at the world from a different perspective to attain that abundance that we so rightfully deserve, you have to feel that from within first. Change yourself from within. Pray for it. Like, prayer helps uplift our vibration. I'm not saying like pray to Lord Jesus. I'm just saying pray. Pray, ask for things, but do it in a very genuine way. I can go into more detail about that, but I'm trying to keep this a little bit short. All right, let go of guilt. When you allow your light to shine brightly, you inspire others. Forgive yourself for what you think you've done or not done, and trust that God loves you unconditionally for who you are. Learn and grow from past mistakes instead of berating yourself for them. Okay, so I definitely resonate with this card because there have been things that I've been thinking about recently, multiple different things that I've been thinking about in my past that I feel slightly guilty for, the choices that I've made, even though in the moment I know I made the right choice, and I still do. But there's still always that element of guilt when you've had to let something go or had to make a pretty hard choice that others did not genuinely feel comfortable with you doing, or that they agreed with it, but you did it anyway because that's what you felt you needed to do in the first place. And now you might be experiencing guilt. So what this is saying is just let go of that guilt. You've made your choices, whether they were good or bad. Ultimately, you only know the answer to that question, but just let go of that. This could be the past, another part of ourselves that we need to release from our past. Refusing to see not only the inner aspects of ourselves that people denied, but also, refusing to see that the choices that we've made in our past led us to where we are today and helped us grow into the person that we are today. All right, so the spirit message for today is ancestral wisdom. We are your ancestors and we love you. We walked the earth many years before you. We ask you at this poignant time to learn and grow from our past experiences. You are our legacy, and we will keep on helping you as we continue to evolve here in the spirit world. So some of these messages can be very much tied to spirituality and the spirit realm as well. And what I feel like this is saying is like if there's any sort of like ancestral bondage, patterns, behaviors, or cycles that play out in your family that you are aware of, this is saying take that wisdom, break those chains, and grow from them. Become better than the ancestors were. Become better than your family was. Take what worked and what was positive and uplifting from your family and run with that. But those parts of your family that were distasteful or in some sort of disdain, don't take that, learn from it, and find a better solution for that so that will not happen anymore as you procreate, if you plan on having kids. Because it winds up changing your DNA. And when your DNA changes, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should look into epigenetics, because you can wind up turning on and off certain genes in your gene pool. And therefore, when you turn off a certain gene, activate one more, you can actually procreate, have a child, and that will automatically be generally turned on for them as well. And so things become easier for your children to accommodate for with certain aspects of your family lineage, behaviors, patterns, whatever. So anyway, Cancer, that was a pretty deep reading. I mean, we're deep people, so it makes sense. But abundance coming in, stuff, stuff's coming to a close, coming to a deathful ending. But we're definitely making a transition to this. So anyway, if you value this reading, please like, share, and or subscribe. I think I already said that, but I'm gonna say it again. I am trying to expand this platform, and I want to get as much messages out to as many people as I possibly can. So anyway, Cancer, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.